Yeah, he's holding his feels up the tempo. Still he took my sin and my shame. I didn't deserve to be rescued. Still he is called.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Enona Wilcox Ubodo and this is my YouTube channel. On this channel, I talk about lifestyle, I talk about God style, I talk about my experiences and the experiences of people around me, right? In the last video, I was answering a few of your questions about me, getting to know me, and I actually said that I was going to do 4 parts of this video. But I realized when I was trying to sieve the questions, like I said, there were a lot of questions. So when I was trying to sieve through and then narrow down to the ones that were not, because a lot of them were repetitive. So I was trying to narrow down. I figured that it's best to answer most of these questions in separate videos. Okay, so today I'm going to be answering another 10, and that will be all about the questions of getting to know me. The rest will come in their individual videos. All right, so right into it. The first question for today is, what inspired you to start a channel and what is the focus of your channel? Okay, so what inspired me to start a channel was because I have experienced quite a lot of things that I feel I should share, and I also want to share my views, my thoughts, and how I feel about God and about everything that God does for me and does for people around me. So the focus of my channel is talking about God, talking about everything that God is to me and what God does around me and for the people around me as well. Okay, the second question is, where do you live? Have you always lived there or anywhere else? Do you want to japa any day? Okay, I live in Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt is in Rivers State, Nigeria, and yes, I've always lived in Port Harcourt. About japaing, I'll let you in on it if that ever happens. Um, what schools did you attend? Primary, secondary, and uni? And where did you meet your husband? Okay, so I schooled all my life in Port Harcourt. Primary school in Port Harcourt, staff school, FGGC Abloma. Secondary school, FGGC Abloma. FGGC is Federal Government Girls College. So secondary school, FGGC Abloma. University of Port Harcourt. And I met my husband in Uyo during NYSC. Okay, so do you have a BSc, and in what field? Are you applying it into your career? I'm a fashion entrepreneur. Yes, I have a BSc. I have a BSc in Linguistics and Communication Studies. And I would say I'm applying it to my career because linguistics and communications, the communication part of linguistics has a lot to do with communication, marketing, advertising, all right? Communication, basically. So, of course, as a fashion entrepreneur, as a business person, I'm using communication, of course, yes. Did you go to a fashion school and business school, and for how long? Okay, I went to sort of an informal fashion school. Okay, yes, so I trained under a friend, and it was a good time. And then business school, yes, I did about 3 months at Quantum Business School. It's in Port Harcourt as well. um would you say the fashion business is lucrative? Yes, it is. It's very lucrative if you know what you're doing. So just as every other business is, you need to understand the business, you need to study the business, not just knowing how to do the business, but knowing the business side of the business. So you're doing fashion, you need to know the business side of fashion. Do you advise strictly online / social media marketing, or offline / having a store? If online, what's the best platform, and how do you cope with the competition in the saturated market? That's quite a lot of questions in one. Okay, so I don't advise strictly anyone. Do online, do offline. Okay, you're starting out new, you have to do both. Even if you are yes, you have years of experience in fashion business, it's still important to do online and offline, right? You don't exactly have to have a physical store. If you have your Instagram page, you have your Facebook page, you have your WhatsApp status, you can work with all of that. Okay, before you go and pay rent and then have a physical store, you should have built your client base to a very reasonable extent. So it's important that you're big on social media marketing. Is very important. How do you cope with the competition in a saturated market? Know your niche. Know your niche, know your onions, have your unique selling point. For me, my business is K&E brand, and at K&E brand, we're known for timely delivery. Okay, so know what your unique selling point is and build on it. That's how you can conquer or penetrate through a saturated market, depending on your business. No matter what your business is, you should know your niche, you should know your target audience, and you should leverage, hold tightly on your unique selling point. Okay, so another question here: how do you manage difficult staff? How do you manage difficult customers? Difficult staff is, I don't know, is what you allow in your business, right? So first things first, you must do your paperwork. You must have your onboarding documents. Onboarding, by onboarding, I mean employment documents, job description documents. Don't leave anything to assumptions. Don't leave anything to chance. Okay. Have your staff policy, have your staff manuals, have everything that shows that this is properly structured. Okay. It will help you to manage difficult stuff because everybody knows where to draw the line. Everybody knows where what starts and what ends, right? And then for difficult customers, have your policies, right? Have your how you handle, how you do your business. For example, as a fashion person, every customer knows this is the timeline for delivery. From when you make payment, this is how long it will take for us to process your order, right? So it helps to handle situations like that because it's all out there in black and white. Okay, most times difficult customers end up being your trumpeters. So it's important to understand your customer, understand the customer's needs, and it will help you to manage them better. Why did you leave banking, and would you want to go back to banking in Nigeria? It was time for me to start my business. That was why I left banking. I had done banking for over 5 years, and it was time. When I joined banking, my target was to do for 2 years, but I had extended it. I'd done for a little over 5 years, so it was time for me to leave, and that was why I left. Would you want to go back to banking in Nigeria? No, I'm fine where I am. I'm okay with doing my business, and I'd like to remain there. um how do you set your business financial targets? Targets are relative. Targets are, I'd rather say goals, right? Targets are, for me, my targets are built on the past. What I mean is, if, for example, last year, thankfully, this is a new year. So December, I closed the year. I have my records month on month. So let's assume that December, I closed the year with a revenue. I'm not talking about profit now, total revenue. Say I closed the year with a total revenue of 500,000, for example, right? I'm going to now check how many outfits did I sell that gave me that 500,000 per month. Okay. I check the months that did well and the months that did not do well. What can I do to be better? That's how I set my targets in business. Okay. So if I close the year with a revenue of 500,000, maybe out of that revenue of 500,000, my profit was probably 300,000. And then 200,000 was my expense based on staff expense, work tools expense, customer relations expense. Generally, total of my expense, okay, was 200,000. That 300,000 now, that is my profit, which is what I have to get into the next year. I'm going to set set a target for myself. How many shorts am I going to sell? How many gowns am I going to sell through the year? Then I'm going to begin to break them down per month. So I'm going to build 1 month on the other month. I don't know if it makes sense. Yeah, so that's how I set my business financial targets. What are your deal breakers and what are your deal strikers? In relationships, generally, my deal breakers are lies and my deal strikers are loyalties. Okay, so if you tell me a lot of lies, you're not reliable. Of course, that's a deal breaker for me. If you're loyal, you're consistent in your friendship, in your association with me, that's a deal striker for me. So I'm going to stop here with the questions. Like I said, there are a lot of questions, and most of them are full-blown topics. So I'm going to take them in bits. So if I didn't answer any of your questions and you're watching this, please, I'm sorry. I'm going to get to answer your questions over time. Okay, so that will be it right now. And till I come your way again, my name is Enona, and bye.
I'll stand firm with confidence till